Okay, welcome guys, welcome. This is episode 33. I did actually watch it, I did look at it today, so I'm sort of aware of what number we're up to with the ChatTactic for the year. So yeah, welcome along. A fair few things to cover today. I was just actually trying to load in a game at the very last minute. That's why I'm a minute or two late. But I lost track of where it ended up in my Steam library. So I'm not going to be able to, unless I spend a bit of time. I might spend a bit of time. That was a game that we looked at last week called Sea Power. I did put it in there because I just double checked it to see if I could actually put the key back in, but the key is that I can't find the actual game in the library. So anyway, I was going to try to download it and load it in while I was doing the intros and stuff. But anyway, Zephon is coming very soon. You can see through here. This is the preview screen for the game. Hi Tenru and Sorbicol, saying British Daylight Savings making the start time a lottery. I see. I'm going to be keeping on at this time. This is the best time for me. So if it's any later, it encroaches too much into, like, it becomes too dangerous for me in terms of trying to finish quickly. Whereas this time I do still, I can comfortably do 2 hours with this. So yeah, it's the BST settings are going to be up in the air. I think America went into their daylight savings or lost their daylight savings, I think, over the weekend as well. Like it's all everywhere at the moment. Anyway, not for me, because I don't have daylight savings at all. We don't have it at any stage during the year, which is sort of funny. I remember we used to have it. We came in, I forget what year it was. Anyway, it came in basically as a trial. And at the time, because I'd come from a state that did have it, and I was thinking, oh, that's good, like we'll have more daylight at the end of the day and stuff like that. And anyway, they got rid of it after about 3 or 4 years. And it's sort of funny because I now like not having it, but at the time I was thinking, oh my God, no daylight savings, this is crazy. But it's actually it's funny because where I live, it's sort of subtropical, and we just don't need the daylight savings. Like it does get dark early, but it doesn't get light super early either. Like because we're not too far down on the globe, and I think that daylight savings is actually probably more for the mornings than the afternoons, to be honest, because it's sort of when we do go to the southern states, you do notice they've got a lot more daylight during summer, because the sun is sort of down that end of the planet. But it's just funny, like where we are, don't miss it at all anymore, whereas I used to. Okay, so anyway, hi ZXM, how you going? And Bob Rupert saying, Apollon saying, hey Daz, so this is the best for me, and you are lucky no DST. Yeah, the daylight savings, it's funny, like it's like now because I go to the beach every morning, I think that's probably the key for me, is like it's just consistently a good, it's good. Whereas daylight savings would then make it, I'd have to go even later to the beach at certain times. And I quite like going, like with dawn being the trigger for going for the beach. So we're saying, although technically I'm still working, there we go. So Dom UK is saying daylight savings is rubbish. They keep talking about abolishing it, but it never happens. And hi Pablo, how you going? It's sort of funny, like when they put it in our state, like as I say, it wasn't even 4 years. It was like maybe 2 years or something, and then they had was there like a referendum on it or something? And I forget exactly how it happened, but people then, and there was such it was so funny at the time, where people thought that the curtains were going to be fading and stuff like this. It was just very strange. I do remember it because it was really weird. And then when it got voted out, it was like everyone's, like the younger people, like I was fairly young at that stage, was going, oh, what are you thinking? Anyway, it was a funny time. Right, Zephon. Let's just get into Zephon, then we'll talk about other things. Oh, by the way, we do have a giveaway again today. We're going to be giving away another of the Keeper RL games. So that's going to be on the cards for today. I went in. I'm going to actually have a look at the marbles. I won't run the marbles early, but I will actually have a look at it because I was going to get rid of, try to sort of clean out the leaderboard so that it didn't keep on coming up all the time as to where people are. But then I had a look at it and I thought, actually, this is actually an interesting record of how people have performed over over months and months of marble runs. And so I thought I'd actually maybe just go through that so you can sort of see where you ended up. It sort of was, I found it quite interesting actually just having a bit of a look at that. I did that maybe sort of 15 minutes ago, just to have a quick look. All right, so we've got this is the preview for Zephon. Now, Zephon launches on November the 8th. So for you guys, it's November the 4th. For me, it's November the 5th. So I'll be able to, the release will be November 9th. But this is the pre-release version. So this is the most current version of the game that I've actually got. And so, so you can see there, it's welcome to the preview. Please note that we're still doing pre-release testing. It's blah, 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 blah. Welcome to use the debug panel if you would like to cheat, for example, to unlock mutators. So that's so I can do that at the moment. I don't know if that'll stay the same. I might show that. I'm going to, because I'm allowed to now show anything as of today, as of right now, basically. So kind of remember that you're still under embargo until November the 4th. Yep, there we go, at 6 a.m. Pacific time. I'm assuming that's now. I think it is because I thought I checked out, I think it's 3 hours it's gone past since the embargo lifted. So I think I'm allowed to show anything at all. Steam releases on November the 8th at 6 a.m. There we go. So that's going to be basically like in a few days' time. So that's why I thought I'd actually do a deepish dive into Zephon, because now I'm allowed to sort of actually show it in all its glory. So Bob is saying, "Yay, Daz is doing achievements now." Well, sort of. It's I thought I'd just show the actual how people are performing over the course of the marble runs over many months, and since we set it all up, because I was going to go in and actually just wipe it all, and then I thought, no, look, maybe it's fun for you guys to see where you actually are on the list. Okay, so anyway, we've got this. This is the one that we actually have. So I've cleaned out the game, so I've sort of got rid of all my saved games and stuff like that, so that I've sort of got like a clean version. I've also gone back into the settings, and I've actually just gone and restored defaults through the settings. I don't know if I've done it everywhere. I probably haven't actually. I might just flick that all back on. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. So Zephon has encountered a problem and needs to close. Well, I don't know what I've done there. That was in the video settings. Let me just open it back up again. It shouldn't take too long. There we go, because it's nice and fast because it's already been preloaded basically. Okay, so if I just go back into settings again, I won't do that again. I've got video, audio is, that's the settings that I've put in there. I'll just leave all that where that is. There's a lot of controls in the actual game itself, back and through here, so we won't spend too much time in there. I will point out a few things though, because you can tell there's been a lot of learning from their earlier games like Gladius and Pandora. So things, for example, like the cliff highlights are something that they introduced in Gladius, and by default, that's if I restore defaults in here. Yeah, it worked. It was safe and sound. When you get the game, I would suggest that you do turn on a few different things. So there's like, for example, the attack area. So always show the unit's attack area. When off, it can still be shown by holding shift. I think that that's something that I would like to be seeing, like where the game will sort of then zip across to where there's an attack going in. So I have that one turned on. In terms of the cliff highlights, I really like this, and so it's off by default, which surprises me a little bit actually, because the cliffs are critically important for your melee attacks to know where they actually are, and show the grid as well. I'll put that on for now, but I would often play with that turned off personally, but I'll put it on. Show performance is really just going to be sort of how the game is performing within your current system. I'm not going to worry about that one so much. I will go with show tips at this stage. I'll probably end up turning that sort of stuff off. Disable mods on load error. Yep, that's okay. Mark content corrupt on load error. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on through there. Anyway, that's essentially what we have with the general settings. But those little settings there, I would strongly recommend that you turn that on if you do go and grab the game. Pablo Hedning is in sort of saying the YouTube algorithm gave me your latest Distant Worlds stream on the last day of the sale. Now I've been slowly learning the game, playing as the Teekans while following your helpful guides. The Teekans are a hard faction to actually to really get used to. It's sort of a faction that I would almost, if you. It's sort of funny. I'll do all these. I'll devote off because I do want to talk about Distant Worlds as well, because that's now sort of like the DLC is now out and about. So it's sort of basically finished at the end of last week. So it's only just sort of just finished there, and there will be people, I guess, that are playing it. I've played a series pretty much on Twitch, which was so much fun to play. It's been my favourite Distant Worlds 2 game that I've ever played. I just absolutely have loved it. I'm probably going to stop playing it now, but it's every episode was of every time I sort of did a stream, it was something interesting happened, which was great. But anyway, the Teekans, because their combat is very, very weak, and that makes it quite difficult to play as them. They have to make use of iron weapons, and iron weapons are also a weapon that has friendly fire. So the Teekans quite often end up in trouble. So they're not the easiest faction to play, particularly if you start to tweak the fleet settings. So just be careful of the Teekans. I know there's a lot of people really love playing as the Teekans. Their benefits is that they, like on worlds, they expand extremely quickly. So they breed like rats, essentially, the Teekans. So it's fun in that sort of sense. But I actually personally don't like playing as the Teekans. I think if anyone's trying to learn the game, I think the best the best three factions to learn the game are the humans, just because they actually they're not as vanilla as what many people think. They can be quite nasty. The humans actually have a broad spectrum of areas that they can go from diabolically bad through to being very, very good. So you have a full range with the humans, which is quite interesting. The Actarians are also a really good one to play with, because they've got a very unique way of actually having their fighter craft, so you actually get to use small craft very, very effectively. And the Boscara, which is another that's the primary insectoid faction, just because of how aggressive they are. But those three, I think, make it fairly. I guess they're easy to pick up, and they're very intuitive. All the other factions just require a little bit more nuance when you actually do play them. Thanks for becoming a supporter there, Ladrin. Very much appreciated. Now we've got so hi Chris, how you going? And Pablo's in sort of saying, I tend to play Forex games as an industrial powerhouse, so the Teekan. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, well if you're having fun with them, then that's all that's important, really. It's interesting because a lot of people like Teekans for me are like the space halflings of space hobbits, and so I tend to not play as them. I also tend not to play as a Xenox, which ZXM is saying I play Xenox almost exclusively after trying them all many times. Yeah, it's sort of funny, like the Teekans, it's the ship designs that I don't like, and that's enough for me not to want to play them. I know that they're going to get an upgrade, so maybe I'll enjoy playing them again. I think there's a few factions where the ships are going to be going through a bit of an upgrade in their presentation. So the Xenox, I'll be looking forward to seeing how that comes about, actually. Because I found the Xenox, the ship designs look really, really too basic. Hi Hugh David, how are you going? Ledrin saying, I've also been playing Distant Worlds 2, been watching a new DLC playthrough. But do you have a playthrough which shows some more of the endgame wars? I'm curious how you manage your fleets. Look, the game I've been playing, it's not an end game, it's certainly mid game, and I can show you. I'll open it up. I'll do this thing on Zephon. We'll go back to. I'm not under the same time constraints that I normally am. I'm not going to the beach today because I've got to go into my work a little bit earlier. But that actually means that I've got like an extra hour or so where I don't have to. don't have to go to the beach today. I'm not going to the beach today. So I was saying don't have to. I just won't be able to. So I do have a bit of time. So I will actually. I'll open up where I am with the current game that I've been playing on Twitch, because it's been fascinating. Like, it's been a fascinating game, and like really, really interesting. Like, it's so many different things happened in it, and I do actually have like a full fleet set up where they're all doing different things. I think I'm currently in a war as well, which I can then sort of show you how the fleets work. So and that's actually in a position now where it's sort of it will be the same process throughout the rest of the game for me in terms of the fleet settings. All right. So anyway, we'll get back to that one. So Xenox are good at research and counter-espionage. I play no tech trading and out-research everyone if possible, so that they can't have people stealing my text. Yeah, it's sort of I like the tech trading. I've got to say, I don't normally like it in games, but I do like it in that one. Let's close this one and get back into Zephon. We'll cover Zephon, then we'll get back into DW2. And Age of Wonders 4 as well. So anyway, we've got an introduction is essentially just an introduction game, which will then sort of step you through, like it's almost like a tutorial. There's no actual tutorial in this game. If you've played Gladius, you'll feel comfortable with it, but there are a lot of changes that have come in with the game. If you go to new game in through here, or just go and set this one up, there's a fair few different sort of settings with this one. Now, I've set everything back to the defaults, and so this is the actual default setup. It suggests that you play as the fallen soldier, and the reason for that is this is, again, the most vanilla style of playthrough that you can actually have. The others, there's a bit more nuance with all of the other different factions, and I'll just go through sort of what they are. Now, in terms of the different sorts of settings in through here as well, it did say that we've got mutators in through here, which is something where you can actually then start to tweak the way the game is played, and you can see everything is actually locked. You are the great speaker, can love your moral, so breaking a unit's morale captures it. So there's all these different things where Gladius doesn't have any of this, and so these are things you can turn on. Whenever you cancel an agreement, you become untrustworthy forever. So did my death mean... Now, this is interesting because... Sorry, I will just divert off. There was no diplomacy at all in Gladius, and people wanted it. There is diplomacy in Zephon, so just be aware of that. There's a lot of completely different game mechanics in this one. Did death mean anything? So double morale change from death. Did our sacrifice mean nothing? So non-neutral units lose 5% hit points each turn when outside of an allied city or outside of allied cities or outposts. So that's interesting as well. So you have to, like, these are all just ways of changing up the game, which is fairly cool. I'm not sure how you unlock them during the game, actually. I mean, I've reset everything, so I'm assuming it's just as you play. Did our unification matter? So non-deformity biological units that die become neutral deformities. Triggers like we're in a dystopian world at this point. So yeah, it's really cool. Was I truly human? Which is damage is divided between all adjacent allies of the target unit. Was perfection worth it? So duplicate cost plus 20% resources. Was Zephon truly alive? So unlimited tile acquisition range. This is so Zephon is the cyber presence on the planet. It's sort of like Skynet, I guess, if you think of it in those sort of terms, from Terminator. What are you? So I can only research technologies with your affinity or no affinity. That's sort of that's probably one I would actually almost play a lot, to be honest, because one of the things in the tech tree, you can actually now split off and actually follow the other, I guess, the other ideologies. There's three ideologies in the game. There's human, which is what the fallen soldier is. There's the voice, which is alien/eldritch sort of style, Lovecraftian, sort of embracing the alien invasion style. And then the third one is cyber, which follows Zephon. So you've got these three different sorts of aspects to the actual game itself, and they do meld across. And so by default in the game, if you end up with a whole lot of voice locations that are going to be beneficial to you, and you're playing as the humans, you can deviate across and start to get units from that grouping, or to get technology from that grouping, so that you can make use of the resources, which I quite like the idea of what they've done. But you can, like with these mutators, you can turn them on. But there's quite a few of them in through here. What's the price of liberty? Leaders have no research affinities. Where are we? All tiles are explored from the start. There we go. Why did humanity die alone? So killing decreases morale. So they're the different mutators, and I think you just unlock them by playing the game. But I can go Control D. Apparently, it didn't do anything. Control D. No. I'll just close that. See if I can do it from here. Control D. Nope, still not doing it. Maybe it's in game. Maybe I've got to do that in game. Anyway, I'll just go back through. I mean, this is literally the first time I'm playing the pre-release version. So it did say I could do Control D. Maybe I can't do that anymore with this version. So did it lock? Yeah, it's not. They're all locked. I'm not sure. Yeah, advanced parameters. Again, there's a whole lot of stuff in through here as well. Again, very much like what's been fleshed out into Gladius as well, with a lot of what we actually end up having. Different resources, resource costs. There's just heaps and heaps of stuff, like, required technologies per tier. In this case, in Gladius, you needed 2. In this one, you need 3 per tier. Maximum tier technology tier. I like this as well, to be honest, where you have the 10 is the whole lot, but you can then play a limited game if you wanted to, where you just have like limited tech, so you can actually scale that one down. So go all the way down to basically just having like starting units. Research technology tier is where you start from, which I think is another nice way of starting the game. Then you've got things, for example, like these are interesting. The Chiefess, the Anchorite, and the Zephon cities. Now these are NPCs. They're not just the environment, because we have environment factors as well. Like we've got sort of mutants and things like that are just hanging around in the environment. We've got cyber units that are hanging around in the environment, and sort of rogue human units that are hanging around as well. That's your environmental sort of aspects. But then you've got these actual NPCs that you can then go across and actually interact with and have diplomacy with. And again, they fall into the 3 categories. The Chiefess is human aligned. The Anchorite is Eldritch or alien aligned, and then Zephon itself is the cyber aligned. Now, I don't know why the game is called Zephon, because the Zephon aspect is actually quite minor in terms of the overall sort of scope of what the game does. It's just 1/3 of overall what happens. So Grimdark is saying mutators. Yeah, cool. Was not expecting that in this title. They've put a lot into this. It's sort of funny because when it first came out, people were going, "Oh, it's just Gladius with a different skin and stuff like that." And certainly, if you've played Gladius, you'll understand how to play the game. But there's so much more in it, and it's sort of like they've made it. Gladius is very black and white in its approach, which I love. Gladius is one of my favourite games, but Zephon sort of has more of a. It doesn't keep everything black and white. It does allow you to sort of meld across into the other different aspects, and you do come across these various entities as you start to play. Now, I can be a human and still make friends with the Anchorite or the Zephon cities if I do the right sort of thing by them. So you're not locked. It's not locked away, but you do have a if you're playing as a human and you come across the Chiefess, she is more likely to be friendly to you than not, because she also is the human entity. And again, you can change these up to whichever you want. Like the bleed is essentially your wireweed from Gladius, so it's very much the same. You can see they've got ruins again as well, forest, brush, etc., all the way through. There's all sorts of different things. Now, the game also does have terraforming. Like the planet will just terraform itself over time. So it's sort of it does chop and change a bit, the actual planet itself, which again is different from Gladius. There's a lot going on through here. There's heaps of stuff in here. There's your world seed. I almost wish that was up near the top. Just so that you could, if you wanted to share it with someone, you could. I mean, not that it matters that much. I never bother with it, but the fact that the world seed is right at the very, very bottom of that list is maybe just a little bit sort of strange. As far as the factions are concerned, as I said before, you've got the three different backgrounds. You can see there the affinities. And so the Fallen Soldier, a war with aliens, monsters and machines, knows no borders. The soldiers sworn to protect all human life against extinction. Starts with militants and gains early access to human technologies. So militants are what all of the human players will start with. If I go to the next human one is the Honourable Aristocrat. Starts with militants, the Rogue Operative, that's cyber. This one here is another human. Starts with militants. What's different is they have then different aspects about them. If we go back to the Fallen Soldier, as I say, the Fallen Soldier is the easiest one to play. This is essentially almost like Necrons from Gladius. And so they've got Undying. Always carries a piece of flesh a piece of his flesh around to share in his uncanny healing powers. So units regenerate a couple of hit points each turn, exactly like the Necrons. Military background, decades of training taught the Fallen Soldier to secure transport as fast as possible. Starts with an Outrider. So he does actually start with one of the militant squads disappears, and he's actually got like a little transport as well. Leave no man behind. Bringing every soldier home comes at a high price. Unit upkeep of the Fallen Soldier's army is increased. So there is you do pay for more for having your soldiers. So there's more of an upkeep. And survival training. In a crisis, only the best soldiers will make it out alive. Spend influence to increase the experience of a unit. So you can push a unit's experience up through spending influence if you have enough of it. I never have enough influence to actually do that sort of stuff. And then we've got a few of them, like the Honourable Aristocrat, Honour Bound. This will have different sorts of things as well. They've all got different bonuses. The Emulated Mind is your cyber affinities. So she has no choice. Zephon unintentionally made her a twisted mirror of itself. Start with the Isham Forces and gain early access to cyber technology. So all of the cyber units, like the Emulated Mind, the Heartless Artificer, they will all start off with Isham Forces. Now, Isham Forces are androids type things, so they're sort of cybernetic, half human, half. Well, not just androids. What's that? When I forget what it's called, where you've actually got there's human aspects to them. Anyway, there's three human starts. There's three of the cyber affinity starts, including the Rogue Operative back in through here as well. And these have all got different sorts of things. Like this has got a hit and run aspect to it. The Heartless Artificer is more of an engineering type thing. Population growth rate is increased, but the productivity is low. So she will sacrifice population to increase production. So this is one thing where you just need to sort of like eat your people to be able to play as her effectively. The Emulated Mind is fairly sort of one-dimensional, fairly simple in terms of the cyber. So this would be a good introduction to playing as a cyber, where you actually have like a single fortress. You don't actually expand. So you do get extra resources from the outposts. So getting the outpost is important, but you don't actually. You've only got one fortress. And you do actually have like a massive cannon in the actual fortress itself. But let's just go and play a random one, and we'll just I'll just get started. We can sort of see how the game actually does sort of look. So this is the default setup. I'll just go and start. Control Z, show tile information on all tiles. I use that an awful lot in Gladius, and similarly in here. I really dislike this intro. It means nothing in terms of the actual game, so I'm going to skip it. It's sort of, I've got to say, it's one of, I hate to say it, but it's one of the worst intros where it's trying to explain a complex dynamic that I've seen in a game. And like being perfectly honest, and so for me that is really just not a good intro at all into the three different factions, the state of the planet and things like that. It just doesn't communicate anything at all. Anyway, that's just me. Having a bitch about it, but anyway, that's just the way it goes. So we're in here in the wasteland. Now, again, like Gladius, you're going to see different things coming across on the side here. It's played on a hex, of course. In this case, we start off, we've actually gone in with Instrument Forces, which, so we will be, we're playing as cyber in this case, so we've got it like a cyber affinity. Excuse me. And actually, who the hell are we? I don't even know who we are. Concordant, so trade, that's hero items, compendium. There should be a way, if I just go to the concordant. So this is actually where this is also new that we don't actually have anywhere else. I was just trying to see who I actually am, which of the factions I'm actually playing as, because I've played random. Will it have it there? Concordant, compendium, menu. I'm not seeing it there actually, which is sort of funny. What are units? Yeah, I've found a few different caches and things around as well, just in the area that we're actually in. That's strange, actually. It's important to actually know who you are. Oh, hang on, here we go. We are the emulated mind. They're right. So just want to hover over that one. So we're cyber affinity. She has no choice. So this is Zephon unintentionally made her a twisted mirror of itself. So start with Instrument Forces and gain early access to cyber technologies. Resource Network. The emulated mind is a master of logistics and supply management. Gain additional resources from Outpost. Fortress Armament, so Oblivion waits anyone foolish enough to attack the emulated mind directly. Her city possesses a long-range defensive cannon. Trapped. The emulated mind is locked inside a single structure, so her people have built a citadel around her. She's limited to her starting city and can build no more. This is it. This is why I needed to find out if I was playing as her, because I don't just want to plonk down a city anywhere, because wherever I plonk the city down is going to be where I start, and not where I start. That's going to be everything that I'm going to be doing in the game. So, and then data hack, which is elite. So the emulated mind, once connected with the entirety of human knowledge, an enemy database is child's play to her, so spend influence to temporarily duplicate research output from another player's city. Okay, so once we come across the enemy, we can then start to hack them. Okay, so finding the right location for our start city is fairly important. We're going to not have too much concern. You see when I hover over things, again, we've got different output around the place depending on where we actually start. So this is wasteland out through here. This has got some brush. There's brush back out through here. When we're next to things like a watchtower, we're going to get extra influence and so on and so forth. So that's pretty not a bad start for us. If I do go and grab these engineers and tell them to build a city, the game will then say, oh, these two locations are good. But if you're not sure, just go Control Z, and it will then bring up the list. The thing I like to do is just add everything together. So this is like a plus 60, that's only a plus 40. So that one there, I get more benefit from actually no, it's plus 50 this one. That one's plus 40. 40 back in there, 40s, that's a 40. That one there is another 50 at that location. But I do get 3 build slots here. I only get 2 there. So I'm actually happy enough with this one over through here, to be honest. So I'm just going to go across. You do get bonuses with your start city, so that's always important to try to sort of grab those bonuses. So let's just go across with those. We'll build our start city there. Control Z. The other thing that was in my mind was that I want to be sort of close-ish, because I've only got the one city, I want to be sort of close-ish to it's only a little thing, but towards the middle of the map. I won't play for much in this one. Now, when we start the city, we start off with a construction yard. You can see through there, we've got a construction yard, and we also have our headquarters back in through here. It allows us to do certain things. We can build one more area in here, and quite often the one that I like to sort of start with, no matter whether I'm playing this or Gladius or whatever it might be, is to start off with research. So we do actually have, for example, we've got things, for example, like a cryo fabricator which generates chips, and we have to be a bit careful. Our chips are going backwards, so we're losing half a chip per turn, which isn't terrible. We've got the power plant. At the moment, we've got fine with power. We've got the mineral extractor back up and through here. This one for the extra minerals. Minerals are okay at this point in time. The greenhouse farm is going to generate food, and then we actually have the synthetic printer. This is the thing that does produce infantry, and so this one actually does it does cost us a little bit. The upkeep is just 2 of the energy. I don't actually have the research abilities just yet, so I can't actually put a researcher in. There's no clearing tile. I'm not close to this weed or the bleed. I can acquire a tile though, so I can start to sort of acquire these. So it acquires target ground tiles up to 1 tile away from the headquarters. Buildings may only be built on acquired tiles. What I might do is grab. The printer is going to give me. So this produces the Ishamin forces. There's no benefit to that one. It's funny because it doesn't actually give me any bonus. I might grab the cryo fabricator, or maybe we actually just acquire a tile further out. And again, if I have a bit of a look, I will be wanting to get extra research, which is that bottom one through there. So I'm thinking I grab this group of 3, or even this one here. Doesn't really matter, whichever one. So we'll just start to build that one. 2 turns for that one. The headquarters, I can't really do anything. So this one is just producing whatever it can. You can see there we're getting a little bit of a bonus there just because of the features. Like we're getting extra research there anyway, extra influence. So these are the various resources that come from the headquarters. Again, I won't spend too much details with this one. We'll just go back to ordering units. One of the key things with this game, like Gladius, it can be brutal. So just be really aware of what's going on. Now there's a cyber cache which is actually inside the bleed. I'm just going to send these enforcers in. So you can see these are sort of cybernetic, so biotech infantry that alternates between high power and low power attacks while healing their wounds. So it's got human aspects but also cyber aspects. So let's just go across and grab that. Bleed damages units, so we're now going to get some damage from that unit. But we did pick up a cache, so we've got now a pass select hero before claiming itself, so we do actually have now a piece of equipment we can then make use of. Now there was also another cache there. That was the voice cache. So let's go across to this one. Distorted lens. So these are both things we can then put onto hero units. Just go and click on OK. I'll just disable the tips next time. And what have I got down there? There's another voice cache down that way. So I want to ultimately keep these together. So we do actually have this unit here with its cannon can actually fire at this. So that's why it's saying there's another unit there. So we will actually fire at this one. This is the big cannon on the actual on the planet, I think. If I just go and click on that one. This is an extremely long-range cannon. It's quite powerful. Okay, we'll now choose our research. And again, you've got like a lot more research. Some of these, you can now filter between human, voice, and cyber. I probably want to stick with cyber at the start. So I'll just turn off the voice. You can see there that certain things are being added in. It's got a little symbol there for voice. Actually, I can just leave it on. There's only one human, which is the barracks, which does allow us to then pick up human forces. Midnight Chorus is these will produce the basic voice infantry as well. But in this case, these are all the cybers back and through this other side. These are just the general things. I do want that research laboratory, so I'm just going to grab that one at the start. And it's going to take 4 turns for us to actually grab that one. We'll end our turn. I won't play for too much longer here, but I will just sort of show a little bit of the game. Yeah, different forces are now coming back through. Now, see how that was interesting. There was 2 groups from the like there's an NPC attacking an environmental factor there, which is what we're seeing in that instance. So they've actually gone in, and so the NPCs also attack the environment, and so there'll be an entity up through here. And so we'll try to make contact maybe with that one, and just sort of I'll do that just to try to get some diplomacy. I do want these to heal up a little bit, so I'm just going to keep these together. Rivers work the same as what they did in Gladius, and then we'll just go and grab the cannon and blast this one. And I can still fire, just fire at it as well. And again, like Gladius, within 3 you pick up the experience. These were outside that experience range. We'll end our turn. So get up into the forest. Going in with their lasers. We're seeing different outposts and also more caches back up this way. We now actually have this area now selected, so we can just go and... Do we have another attack? It's just helping with everything else. Order cities. And so we can now start to build other things in here. I will grab a cybernetic printer as well now. I'll just grab one in through... what does that one have? This one's got a little bit of food. I'll go that way. I'll just pop it in there. So 6 turns before we can get that one. We'll just exit the city and end our turn. Now that's indicating there's a cliff down that way. Grab this outpost. Okay, didn't quite get what I needed. Oh, here we go. I think we can still just finish it off now with the cannon. Actually, that's probably just outside the range. Yep, so we can fire at this thing. Just use the city. So it's a bit more nuanced than what it was in Gladius. I'd love to see a Gladius 2. To be honest, with the changes that they're making. I'm going to, here we go, research laboratory. So we'll now select new research. I'll grab the, this is actually an Heirloom Assassin. Again, I won't spend too much time with the game, but I thought I'd just sort of show a little bit of it. This one here, we're going to now destroy it with this particular group. And they both get a bit of experience, not enough for it to level up. And I'm just going to heal this unit up. So we'll just go and hold position until healed. And then I'll do the same for this one afterwards. So hold position until healed. End our turn. End our turn again. Okay, Heirloom Assassin. So, yep. So we'll select new research. Now we build the heroes in other ways. What have we got there? That's going to yeah, we get -5 mineral cost for infantry. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So we'll grab that one there. I'm not going to spend too much time looking at everything. These are starting to now get themselves sort of leveled up. Let's just go and grab this cache. So we picked up a heap more research, which is cool. Let's go into these ruins, and we'll start to make our way through the ruins and try to find that entity that was back over there. Then we'll just call it quits at that point. Got the production, select new research. Now we've got the 3, we can now go back across. The Mind's Eye trait for Oblivion. We get +6 to the maximum range on that cannon. So the big Oblivion cannon is actually one that we can do more with. The Hollow Theatre is important. The Automated Factory is important. We'll grab that for now. Won't spend too much time looking at the different things. This one through here, let's just zip on forward. And yeah, here we go. So I'll just disable the tips for now. So incoming call from the Anchorite. So this is actually the Eldritch or Alien style. We've actually now come across one of their outposts. So this is actually something so they're actually now making contact with us. We'll accept the call. So yeah, Merciful Potentate, War divides us, and yes. So anyway, I'll just skip on through and see if we can do it. So what we have, this is sort of like a bit of a look at the initial parts of the diplomacy. Offer peace, or doesn't determine who wins but who's left, and I'd rather both of us remain. What shall we cease? Or offer a gift. I'm not going to do that, but I'll see what happens with that one through there. So he wants payment, so or reject payment for the deal. I'm going to do that. And yeah, peace is my hope, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to end the call here because they do want the gift. So no, not going to happen. And so that's sort of like, that would be then the start of an interaction with where this NPC has got a presence and got some control up in the top. So this is actually a phase generator. This is Anchorite outside a city. There will be more cities. I'll just go back to ordering units again. Let's go and have a look. There's the Anchorite city there. So they've got this presence in through this other area. Order cities back in through this other side. We can now go and get the research. I can now start to pick up the Ishamin forces, so I'll grab another one of these. Now, the chips we're doing okay with chips at this point in time. Just exit the city. Before I end the turn, I now do actually have diplomacy will be one of the things we actually have. So we've got communications. So we can start to sort of then start to see the what we can do. So the Anchorite is the one thing. It shows us, the standing with you is ambivalent. That we are at war with them. So they're at war with us, the chiefess, and with Zephon as well. I can call, I can block calls, I can do different things, declare war. We're already at war with them. So they may come out. If I just close and end the turn, we may see a unit come out and attack these enforcers. Nope, they didn't. Now I've got a phase generator under our control. Yeah, look, I won't keep on playing, but you get the idea. It's a lot more intricate than what Gladius is. Actually, what have we got there? This is the meat harvest. Community growth to target city. Okay, that's not sure what that one actually is. Not sure how we got that, to be honest. I haven't played much of the of this, as it's getting closer to release. I've only played it when I'm being allowed to show it. So I've got a lot to learn as well. But it's a really cool game. I think it'll be a cool game. Anyway, let's get out of it because I've spent pretty too long now on that one. We'll just exit out to the desktop. But that's Zephon. Zephon, I think, is going to be a great little game. It doesn't have the... I think where it will probably struggle a little bit is that, like, having the Warhammer franchise around Gladius, people immediately understand what they're doing. And that will be a bit of a negative, I think, when people do come into that particular one. So Grimdark is saying, I really wish that they had spent more work on the map to differentiate from Gladius. The colour palette and terrain mood really reminds me of Gladius. It's one of my complaints from what I've seen. I agree with you, actually. I do agree with you. And I think it's because the game is quite different to Gladius, like in many ways. I mean, the combat system is the same, but there's a lot more in it. And yeah, I think you're right. A different style would have actually really set it apart. So Thorn Nellerman is saying, yeah, the icons are almost the same as well. Yes, yeah. Hi, Viren Games and Ice Frosty Raven. Chris is then saying, is this available on GOG or only on Steam? It should be available when it does come out. It should be available everywhere, I would guess. ZXMSA looks great to me. Yeah, it's going to be a great game, but I do get what you're saying about the look. But then Pandora looked the same as well. Like Pandora had a very similar look. That was the first of the games that they did. I like the animation, says Chris. Yep. And so Sean Pass is saying, anything happening with Shadow Empire, Daz? Every time I see an update, I go and have a look at it to see if there's anything major. I'm really waiting for major stuff now before I go back to Shadow Empire. But as soon as something big comes, I'll go back to it. I love the game, so I will definitely be doing more. I know there's big stuff coming, so I keep on checking it out. If you guys ever see that something big has launched and I'm not covering it, it's because I probably have missed the information. So always say, hey, Shadow Empire has now got naval units or something like that. Then it would be, for me, that would be, oh, okay, I'll do a recording. It's a bit more colourful. There are some changes. It's just very samey. But you can you can tweak things in the like there's no mods yet for I was going to say for Gladius for Zephon, but there will be mods and people will be able to chop and change things a little bit there as well. I don't know about the colours. Maybe they could change that. I'm not sure. Probably actually, you probably should be able to, because you can mod anything in these games. In Zephon will be very, very mod friendly, like Gladius was. So where do we get up to? So Ice Frosty Raven saying, I'll be honest, personally, Zephon is not really for me. I apologise, but no, don't apologise. It looks like more stuff from Gladius has been copied over to this game. It is quite different. I will be doing a run through now that I'm allowed to. I'll be playing an extended play of it, and it's sort of one of those things where I don't think they've communicated well enough what the differences actually are. And some of the things they're focused on, like that, the intro video is really doesn't present what the game actually is. So I think that they've shot themselves in the foot a little bit with that sort of stuff. They haven't really shown it the way that it could be shown. Chris is saying, I'm looking forward to it because of the diplomacy, which was missing from Gladius. Yeah, it's going to be much more nuanced with the way it does play out. And when I was playing it, I found that as the game developed, it was more immersive than Gladius is, like towards the mid game, which I was pleasantly surprised by. So there is certain things in through there. 8th of November releases, Dave. Yep, there we go. So hi Daz, says Diamond. Hi back. So you covered Rogue Waters. I've tried to contact the devs, but they haven't contacted me back. So I would like to, but they haven't got back to me. So I've only sent one email to them. I think I'm pretty. I did check it because when I hadn't heard back, I thought, maybe I didn't send anything, but I did have another look, and I did actually try to contact them, but I haven't heard anything back from the Rogue Waters guys. Tenra is saying, there's I heard airships conquer the skies. Got a ledger finally, an actual ledger. I'm going to have a look at this. Hang on, guys. This is if that's the case. Airships. I'm surprised that the dev didn't contact me, because I have been asking for a ledger for so long for this game, and from David Stark, the developer, because I've had communication with him, and the reason that we ended up with a pseudo ledger, which you could do on the map system, was because of me hounding him. Absolutely hounding him, like saying, you've got to do it, just have to do it. Actually, where would it be? It'd probably be under Community Hub. There's no new news there. I'm not seeing an actual ledger. The maps certainly got changed, because he implemented what I was looking for in a ledger into the actual map system, which was great. Like, it worked really, really well. That was a joke, says Tenry. You want one? Well, actually, I don't need one anymore. Actually, sorry, I didn't read that it was a joke. So there you go. I've gone off on a wild goose chase. We're wasting time, Tenry. We're wasting time. Yeah, Tenry the Trickster, says Ice Raven. Silverkill saying diplomacy in Gladius was flawless. You're either at war or going to be at war. I always understood where you stood, essentially, yes. But I think that it's going to be interesting to see how Zephon is received by by strategy gamers. But I do get that some people will just say, look, it's too similar to Gladius. Again, it's not, but it looks like it is. And I think that will damage the sales a little bit. I think I agree that it should have looked a bit different. All right. So anyway, yeah. I don't mind that it doesn't have a ledger anymore, simply because it does have the map system. All right. So anyway, let's go back across. We're now going to have a look at Distant Worlds. I'll go through and with the changes that have happened in Distant Worlds. I'll just go and start her up. It's certainly, and we're just going to look at the fleets in particular as to how they operate and how they work. It's sort of one of these things in the game that it's very hard to manage fleets if you don't know there's a way of doing it that makes it very, very simple, but it's hard to find it. It's extremely hard to find it, actually. In fact, it's so hard to find it, they even don't have a tooltip. It's the only button in the game without a tooltip. I'll just go and continue the game that I'm playing, and then I'll sort of show you where we are. All right. So this is a mid-game game essentially, where I've got like my empire is in through here. A lot has happened in this particular game. Like for example, well, I'm playing as the Boscara, which is like the bug faction, and this was a human colony. This was their home world. So there's heaps of humans here. We bombarded them down to about 2.5 billion from 6 billion. So we killed an awful lot of them before we did the attack. And they've now been set up as enslaved. If I sort of hover over this one, you'll see that the humans have been enslaved on this particular colony. And so it's sort of... so they're not happy. Well, they're actually they are happy, but they're not happy being enslaved. Because of that, the rest of this faction then went across and ended up declaring war on me. But they were subjugated to me. So it's quite complex the way it does actually sort of work with things. And when I scroll back out, one thing you'll notice is that when I sort of cover my whole area, I've got all these different fleets down the bottom here. So the fleets will show up, the colonies will show up as well, and the spaceports will show up. So we can very quickly go to a fleet that way. That's one way of managing your fleets just manually. Back into there. Also, when you see, like these have all got little symbols on them, so I can very quickly sort of see that one doesn't, and this one here doesn't. So I've got two fleets without symbols, which means that they're being manually controlled. The number of lines around the fleet indicates the strength of the fleet and how big the fleet actually is. So my first attack force is actually got like 3 lines around the fleet symbol, indicating that it's a big fleet. The second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth have all got 2 lines, so they're medium-sized fleets, and then I've got 3 small fleets back and through here. So that's just a visual indicator as to how they operate. You can see that also on the map. Like here, you can sort of see that one's got the 3, that one's got 2. So you can sort of just very quickly think, okay, I've got medium fleets protecting different areas. With the fleets themselves, and I'll just do a bit of a dive into here as to sort of how it does work. The fleets themselves, you can just manually construct them and put the ships in if you're wanting to, but I don't like to do that. I like to have the AI manage that for me. Dom's saying I didn't realise the symbols had that much meaning. That's cool. It's also the symbol that's on them is the automation system for the fleet itself. When I go to a fleet, let's just go to this little fleet over through here. This one's got no mission at the moment. It actually does have a mission. It's in the middle of a mission. And so what it's trying to do here is it's trying to capture a research station here based on from the humans. The humans have got like a research station, and these guys are just hovering around doing nothing. But that's so even though it says no mission, if I just go and press the 8th fleet. So I just go Control 8 with whatever the number of the fleet actually is. It's just a small raiding fleet. It's got 1 destroyer, a couple of frigates, and then 3 heavy escorts. So I'm only using those classes of ships in what I'm doing. And so even though it's saying no mission, their actual mission is to capture this. And they do actually now have the boarding assault strength. If I go and just go capture, yeah, they'll now put that on. Might as well just get it now. And that was actually a war score, I think. Yeah, Thuban Station. We had to capture this, and so actually they just destroyed my forces. What? I thought we definitely would have captured it with that number. Anyway, I'm not sure why that's happening where we couldn't do the capture. we might have to get a bigger fleet in to actually affect that actual capture of that particular location. Anyway, I won't get caught up. I won't get caught up. So the 8th fleet doesn't have much it can do. The actual fleets themselves, if I go and grab the 8th fleet and go down, you'll notice down the bottom through here we have a fleet role, and if I go and click on that one through there, it has different things it will then go and do. Like I can actually have it as an attack fleet, a raiding fleet, a defensive fleet, or an invasion fleet. Now, unless you've got like invading like troop transports, you're not going to worry about invade. But the other three do different things, and so an attack fleet will look for big targets and look for controlling enemy systems and things like this. A raiding fleet will look for bases, for mining stations, things like that, research stations, to go out and destroy them. So they'll automatically just go off and do them. And then the defensive fleets will then try to defend your territory. As ships come in, they'll try to then move around and actually go and say, okay, I'm going to look after this particular area. So they actually have different roles with what they actually go and do. Manual means that you're in full control of that fleet, and it will only do what you tell it to do. But I can go back and say, okay, look, you're going to go back to raiding. When I click on that one, see how there's now this massive area? This is actually its raiding range. But you've got control over that as well. So purple is for raiding fleets. If I change it to an attack fleet, the actual range still stays where it is, but it goes into this sort of orangey red color. So that's the attack. That would be the attack range of this fleet. If I go into defensive in through there, it changes to a blue, which means it's going to defend targets in that zone. I'll just go back to raid because that's really what I want it to be doing. With that one then selected, you'll notice that it's actually not centered from where the fleet actually is. And in that case, it's going back to its home world. So the home base is a Trantu 2 spaceport, which is back in here. So this is our home world. And so it's operating from that home world. And so the way of managing your fleets, first of all, with just their positioning, is to set up the style of what you want them to do, but then also just make sure that you've set their home world where you want that to be. So for example, let's just make it so that we're going to be doing raiding, but we have another world in here. I can do it from any base as well, but let's just do a raid, like a raiding fleet that is operating from this particular spaceport. So let's make this the home world. So with the 8th Strike Force selected, I can come down and just do a long right click and then go set home base for the 8th Strike Force to the El Carusi spaceport. And now if I scroll back out, you'll see that's now the home base. That outer circle will now change to that being the center. If I go to one of the other bases, let's just find a base. Where have we got one? I know that we've got a base over through here, for example. So we can make this mining station can be the base. I can just long right click, set that as the home base for the 8th, and it will now operate from that circle. So that will be the circle of what it will then go and do. So you set the center of the circle based on on its home for when you set any of these. I'll just go back to a Trantu 2 and just set it back in here as the spaceport. They can be planets as well. So if you control planets, you can then sort of have it that way. So that's the actual that's the range that it's going to be operating in. Now the range is set by, when you've got the fleet selected, is this tactics, and you then actually have fleet engagement range. And so this is 50% of the fuel. Now the yellow line is the actual fuel that the current fuel that they have, but that's so the maximum fuel is double that distance. I can change this to anything, to just the same system. And if I do that one, it looks like it's disappeared, but it's actually it sort of hasn't. So that's it there. So that's what it will raid, just anywhere in amongst that one, up to 50M range. It's just going to sort of cover that area. 100M range, covering that, so just covering most of our inner core planets. 200M, a little bit further out, and then we can go up to 300M, even further out again. So we've got like a range of different things we can do with the fleets, or we can then just do it based on fuel ranges. So I might as well just do it on 33%, but you chop and change it that way. That way the fleet will know what to do. So that's actually sort of so that's essentially the way that you then sort of operate it. When they're like that, they will then follow whichever instructions you have. This is where it's easy to, like, once they're set up, but setting them up can be a little bit, a little bit tricky. If you then go across into your policy settings and go down into your military, you'll see there that you've got like the military attacks, so automate military attacks against enemy targets by your fleets and ships, or control this area manually. Now, at the moment, I've just got it for suggestions. So the advisors will make suggestions, but you'll not implement them unless you approve them. So I've got that one, or I can have it where they suggest and execute, where they make the suggestions. If I don't act on it, they'll just go off and do it, or they can just be done automated. Now, if it gets where you've got like heaps and heaps of fleets, you may want to have it automated, and you just control 1 or 2 fleets yourself. That way, they'll just go off and do their thing. They won't attack fleets. Like, they've got different engagement parameters, where like a raiding fleet, for example, won't go and raid something that outclasses it by too much, whereas defensive fleets and things will actually have like different parameters. And so you've got all sorts of different things in there. But that's this is the government, policy, military, and then you've got military attacks back and through there, where you can either have them fully automated, fully manual. That way they won't even suggest it, but I do like to have the suggestions, just so I can see what's coming up. It may be better to go that way at this stage, just so that if I forget something, they'll just go off and do it anyway, because it is quite useful. And so they won't take on a target that's going to destroy them. So they are a bit more careful with that one. So that's that then sets up how they operate, essentially, to get them to that point. So it comes back down then to the just go and close that one off. But that automation is key to getting that to all sort of then work with those fleets. As I go through each of my fleets, if I go to the first fleet, you can see its defensive range is in here, because this is actually where I have most of my problems. The second is also set to a much tighter defensive area. The third is under my control. This is actually an invasion fleet. I might send that off to go and, for example, go and take over this particular location. So go and capture that. So that will then, I'm just manually telling it what to do, and it'll have the M there for manual control. So it's now moving around past the nebulas and going to be taking on that one. The fourth is set to defend this area. You can see that most of my largest fleets are set for defensive operations. The fifth is also set for defence around this area. So overall, all of my fleets have sort of set everywhere. I can turn them all on. I never do, so I'm just trying to see where it is. Exploration, diplomacy. No, I can't remember how to do it. But you can actually have it where all the fleets, you can sort of have a look and see what the overlay actually is if you need to. The sixth fleet is a raiding fleet operating from here, from that human slave world, and so they're looking for targets. They're out here actually doing a target. They've found a human area, so they're just out there raiding these. They're just getting rid of the presence of the humans around their range. The seventh is got a smaller range, just back and through this other side. You can see it's actually nearly out of fuel, so these ships have just come back in. They're just going back in for refueling. And then the eighth, which is what we've just sort of setting up back over the other side there. So that's sort of how the fleets are managed. But to set up a fleet is actually, again, simple, but the AI doesn't make it so you can find it easily. Again, with the automation settings, one of the things I like to do straight away is actually I can do it either through down here in fleets. I turn all of these to manual. By default, they're automation or automatic, where fleet formation, fleet ship management, and fleet postures are all of these different things that we see through here. The AI can manually do it. It can automatically do it. I change it to manual just because I enjoy that part of the game. And so to manually control your fleets, again, it's fairly simple. You go to the military tab in through here. The first one without the tooltip is actually fleet templates. This one through here is army templates. I don't know what I've reported this for years now. I think that there's no tooltip here. It's the only button that I've found without a tooltip. Everything else, will have a tooltip on what it actually does do, except for this one. This is the only one, but this is the one. This is the key to to really looking after your fleets. And so when you click on that one, you then end up with a group of fleet types. So you've got assault. I made this one. So the assault fleet is one that I made as a separate version. So I wanted it away from being just an invasion fleet, but it still would have, the role will still be to invade. So that's the actual role. But this is more, you use this mainly for the composition of ships that you're going to then have in your fleets. And so in this case, you've only got the 4 types of roles, like attack, defend, raid, and invade. They're the four groupings. But you can actually set up different styles of fleets depending on what your needs actually are. So you can sort of override different things. So for example, my defense fleets, which are my medium fleets, if I go and click on that one and click on edit, and you can't delete these. Like I can't delete this one because this was actually a core one. My assault fleet, I should be able to delete that one actually. Why can't I delete that one? Cannot delete fleets that are being used by fleets. Okay, yeah, so the assault fleet is I currently have one fleet that's using that template. But the defense fleet's back in through here. If I have a look at the defense fleets, you can see it's got 12 ships in it. If I go and edit this, it's made up of 1 cruiser, 3 destroyers, 3 frigates, and 5 escorts it's the loadout. And I've actually gone and told it exactly which hulls to use, so you can actually be very, very specific. I can go in and say, okay, look, I want you to use the Firestorm Destroyer version 5. I can be that specific if I wanted to. So I can actually set up different ship designs and put them into different fleet templates and then use that for what we're doing. And so what this then does is if I go and, for example, grab it and up the number of destroyers for this one and make it 4 destroyers, and I'll show you sort of what this one then goes and does. This is the defaults, like 50M range. So this would be the default for the defense fleet template. If I just close this one off, I can then build a new defense fleet at whichever location I want to be locating it from. So I can actually then just go and say, yep, those 13 ships, start building them somewhere. I don't have a hell of a lot of money, so it won't build all of them. I won't do that, but that's actually something that's sort of how you can then manage where they start from. So that's an easy way to construct the fleets rather than doing it all manually. If I go to one of my defense fleets, like the second, for example, this one's already had 4 destroyers in them, and so that one's actually made up. It's got the right number. The 4th has only got the 3, and so this one needs 1 more destroyer for it to be active. It also doesn't have a cruiser, but we don't have cruisers yet in the game. So we've got pirate cruisers in a couple of the fleets, but I can just go top up with the fleet with ships. So I should just point out, this is the fleet role is defend. The fleet template is the defense fleet. So those different fleets that I've made, I can designate what the composition is based on that. So it's a bit complicated, but anyway, that's dictating what type of ships that I actually have. And then I can just go and click top up the fleet with ships, and it will then go and start building the other destroyer just to maintain the actual fleet composition that we had. And so that's it's now going to have the four destroyers. If I go to the 5th, which is also a defense fleet, top up with ships, so it's now going to build another one through there. The 6th is a raiding fleet, which is so the raiding force is the fleet template, and it doesn't need anything. Now I don't have to just stick with that either. Like the 7th, for example, which is in here, is set for raiding, but I can decide, okay, look, stay as a small raiding fleet, but start to defend the area. So just go, instead of doing that one, I can go, okay, your role is to defend, but your template is still a raiding force. So the composition will stay small, but the actual role will then change into this region, and it will then go off, and automatically, if there's an attack going into any of the areas that's inside that blue area, it will then go off and defend it automatically. So yeah, they all have different sorts of things. If I go back into the fleet templates again, and if I just go to add new template as an example, you have to then designate what the role will be. And so in this case, you can just cycle through from attack, defense, or manual, essentially manual in there as well, but invade, raid, defend, or manual, or attack. And so they're the different roles that you then have to set up, and they do have different ways of operating. So, but anyway, that's sort of the way that one does work. This is the new one. I'm just going to delete that. Fleet selected, there we go. It's a really cool way of managing your fleets. So I always use that for any fleet that I've got. I set it, the one thing I will actually do, if I go back into that fleet templates, if the AI takes over, they will tend to turn on trim excess ships is enabled. That way they keep exact numbers. I like to turn that one off so I can add more ships in manually if I'm wanting to. So I can actually sort of give them overstrength, which can be useful. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Anyway, that's sort of like the that way, essentially you can have all of your automated fleets set to full automation, doing what they are told to do, and you don't have to think about it. They will just go off and do it. You can then, at that stage, it becomes overwhelming, is just think, okay, I'm only going to focus on this big attack fleet, and that I'll just have that one set to manual, and we'll go off and start to do some attacks. Like the humans are way over here, and so the first, it's actually inside range for us, but only just. So we can't quite get out there with our fuel with that fleet. We can reach there, but we're not going to be able to refuel properly from that particular one. We do actually have a friend that's back over here, another Boscaran group, and so what we may do is actually say to them, look, let's try to, like, if we go back into, this is getting now sort of beyond it a little bit, but this one is we do actually have with them migration treaty, territory map sharing, free trade agreement, non-aggression treaty, and galaxy map sharing. But one thing we don't have is military refueling. We could actually say, look, we've got an invasion fleet. We want to take the humans out. Sort of, can we get military refueling? I don't know if in the game, I offer treaties. Yeah, there's military refueling there. We need to get friendlier with them. For them to be able, for us to then be able to grab this one, but we're getting close to essentially getting like an alliance with this particular group, these other Boscarans. So it's it's pretty cool. Anyway, it's a cool game, and but the fleets, all the aspects in the game can be fully automated. But in this case, if you are manually doing it, it's complex, but it is rewarding once you've got them all set up the way that you actually want them to go. I'm just going to grab myself a drink of water. Be right back. All right. So we've got what did we get up to? I think the little unnamed ships, the shape matters too. It's like a square, triangle, octagon for what type of ship it is. Yes. So just basically these are all freighters coming back through. So you can very quickly sort of see what type of ships things are. That'll be a constructor. That's a mining ship, that's a commuter. Mining ships come with more of an X. These are all tourist commuters. These are essentially transporting people out to different things. There's a lot of them actually. These are all commuters. This I'm not sure why there's so many going out this way, but do we have a migration treaty? Yeah, that's going out to the other Boscarans. They're mining ships. There's little crosses in through there. We're seeing like there's a human presence in here. They've got a couple of their ships which have just come back through. Now these have got an unknown mission. They're out of fuel, so they're dead ducks. They can't do anything at all. We don't have to really even worry about them. This one is going out to attack them anyway, because it might as well. And so anyway, that's just what's going on with this. So it's a very, very cool game, the way it sort of does work. Once you start playing it, it's a game that you can easily pick up again, even though it is like it's just so overwhelming in what it is, in the scope of what it does do. Okay, so where did we get to? Thor is saying, I was just in the end game Distant Worlds 2 when your stream started. There's Shakturi moving big fleets around, attacking my installations without us being at war. Yeah, it's sort of you can sort of do deplorable things, I guess, in the game. Like you can do attacks even when you're not at war, things like that. So you can certainly do an awful lot. and my fleets will not attack them unless I command them manually for every single target. Very frustrating. Yeah, I guess you have to be at war with them. ZXM is because it's an event like the Hive earlier in the game, no war diplomacy. So I was saying everything got immediately better when I declared war, but then all my mutual defence agreements didn't work. So now I'm only I'm only the only one in the war with the Shakturi. That's not good. Dom UK has been saying, I love fleet stances. I missed it from Distant Worlds Universe and was so glad when the overlay map came back in. Yeah, in Distant Worlds 2, yes. Can the staging location be changed without changing the home world, or even stage at an ally? You can't stage. You have to stage at your locations. So the actual from where you go off and setting the home for a fleet. It is its staging point. That's it. Really, what the home position for the fleet is where it's going to be operating from, and so it doesn't matter where it actually is. Like for example, if we have like a fleet that's out in the middle of no man's land, out of here somewhere, and then it gets there's upgrades available, it will then just fly back to the closest spaceport and then and fix itself up and then go back out again. So there's no limit. Like, don't worry about where you stage them. Just put them where you need them, and just to get the best overlay. That's really the thing. So we've got the Dom UK is saying it's always based around the home base for the fleet, which can be the base, any base or colony. Yep. So it can be sort of anywhere really, but you can't do it I can't set a home base for like an enemy, or not even an enemy, even an ally location. It has to be one of my locations. Okay, so Ladram saying, well, you could use an attack point that seems to only work on enemies that will attack them and then raid further from that location. But I would like to stage at an ally. Yeah, no, you've got to have a base somewhere around for that to actually be the case. Radigar saying it would be cool if you're able to set a system colony base as a staging location that fleets given the prepare the X order would prioritise as a staging point if it was in range of the target. I know what you mean. Yeah, I think it just has to be where you start from. Prepare then do X orders. That is, says Radigar. Yeah, because it has that anyway. The prepare and attack, prepare and capture type things. But they do collect, but they collect wherever the most convenient one is. They don't go back to their staging point to do that one. Chris is saying not to say that SW2 is a bad game. It's a simulation, and I find myself. I think you mean Distant Worlds 2. I find myself enjoying Stellaris more for its richer story elements, each their own. Yeah, I can understand that one. I can appreciate Distant Worlds 2 for the masterpiece that it is. And Ice Raven is saying, I forgot to mention that I recently got Deity Empires on Steam. I got interested in it after watching your video series on the game, though I'm not the best at it right now. I wish that the devs would come back to that game. Like, it's sort of, I'm still hopeful. Like, it feels like it's been abandoned because it's been now years that they haven't done anything with that game. But it was a passion project, and I always think that eventually devs come back to passion projects, and so I'm really hopeful that they do something. Hesna saying to Chris, yeah, both are great games. I get a bit of playtime in both each week. Yeah, it's sort of like it is one of those things where the thing I like about Distant Worlds is you just don't know what you're going to get. Like when you start playing, whereas Stellaris, I find that you sort of like it's too balanced for me. Whereas Distant Worlds can be really really unbalanced, which I really quite like. Anyway, that's Distant Worlds. We'll go back. So the one thing I've liked seeing with this, actually, if I just exit out of this one. Go back to the Steam area. Store page is finally people are actually now starting to give this incredible game its due reward. It's now in recent reviews has now been mostly positive because it's been hovering around the 69-70%, and so it's sort of been mixed. Which is so it's at least is now starting to see some positive movement with the most recent reviews, which is great to see that when 70% is the average for the reviews. It's certainly much better than what the reviews score sort of does give it. But yeah, so it's good to see in recent times that's actually up there, and also the where is it? The Return of the Shakturi. When we go and have a look at this one here, that's also been quite positive, 92%, which is fantastic. So people are enjoying what the games, the additions to the game itself, which is fantastic. Been through there. Okay, now, so we've got a bit of time, and I was going to talk about Age of Wonders. We haven't sort of really got into that one. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into Age of Wonders next week. I'm allowed to show it tomorrow. I'm allowed to show 30 seconds of it today. I'm thinking, what can I show in 30 seconds? And when does the 30 seconds count? When does it start the process? What I might do is I might show... I'll turn it on. I won't start a game of Age of Wonders 4, but I'm going to treat that the actual timer doesn't start until I start an actual game. So even though the game even though I'm actually going to open the game up, so Ways of War is the DLC that's coming. It's coming in about a week's time. Can't even show the trailer at 30 seconds most times. So I'm not going to count this early bit as being part of the 30 seconds. I'm allowed, like the embargo is, as of tomorrow, I can stream it. So I will be streaming it on, I'll probably stream it here on YouTube actually, rather than Twitch to start with. And just so I get a bit of a start, and then I'll probably take it to Twitch for a lot of the week. So we can sort of see it. So this all doesn't count, of course. This is not the 30 seconds. I think when I get into something that's different and new, and I think the thing, even without the DLC, the stuff that's coming in the free update is pretty good actually, just to see actually how things do work. Yeah, what should I do? Should I show a? I'll go into a game that I was playing. I've only been sort of starting games and just very quickly looking at things. But I'll tell you when the 30 seconds starts. Yeah, 30 seconds in a trailer, it gets you through all the company logos. Yeah, okay, it's over, guys. This is the presentation is done. My 30 seconds is up. But I think I'll start the 30 seconds from when I'm starting to show new stuff. I think because it's really quite nice what they've done with the. I was thinking, what can I show? I can show the start of it. Like I can't in 30 seconds. I can't show you the new culture types. There's not enough time, but I can show the user interface changes for heroes. So I might as well do that. I think I said 30 seconds, but meant 30 minutes. Yeah, maybe. No, I did mean 30 seconds. So we'll. This one does take a little bit of time to load up usually when I haven't played it for a day or so. So we'll just wait. We'll wait patiently, chewing away those 30-second time blocks. But no, the embargo finishes tomorrow, so I'll then be able to actually show the game properly and play for an extended period. Well, 30 hours, who knows, says Redigar, yes. I think it was with Planetfall. I had the preview version, and it was revoked just as on launch, and I didn't have the launch version. And I think I had it running at the time, and I just kept on playing and playing. I don't know how many hours I streamed because I knew as soon as I could close it down, it was then going to be taken off my system. And I played for like 6 or 7 hours, I think, just to try to show that was pre-release for Planetfall. I do love this series. Are you on an SSD? It's taking us on. I'm not. No. What I've got an SSD for. What am I using the SSD for? I use the SSD for video recordings, but not for games. I don't. My games I just load into a normal hard drive. But the recordings, when I'm doing recordings, I record out to an SSD drive. So I could have put Steam on that drive. But to be honest, the video drive fills up so fast anyway. So I've kept Steam on a hard drive. Crystal's saying, yeah, do not want to get Daz into trouble. Yeah. Yeah, they're not here and we won't tell them. Well, sometimes they do bounce in. You never know. But I'm looking forward to this DLC. I'm not allowed to give reviews or either at this stage, so I've got embargoes on that, so I can't even really tell you what I think of it. except that I can say, I guess I can say I'm looking forward to it, and I do appreciate the effort they're putting into the user experience and user interface. It is quite nice what they've done with that one. So it's good to see that one. Next week as well, I will actually have Sea Power that I'm going to be able to show, but I couldn't. When it loaded in, I couldn't find it, which is sort of funny in my Steam library. So I'll have to have a bit of a look for it. It didn't load in, like it comes in, but then I've got to find it and then actually install it. And then so Sea Power I can't show today. I was sort of hopeful that maybe we could. I'm going to be able to do videos on that immediately though. All right, so this doesn't count. This doesn't count. We're going to load a game in. This doesn't count either. I'll just open up one of these. None of this counts. You didn't see anything, guys. You didn't see anything. Only counts when we actually go to a hero and open the hero up. So the hero is there. Let's go to our hero. I'll just let the game. This where it's just trying to get on top of the timing. Just doesn't count either. This doesn't count. This doesn't count. Hang on. Right, this now counts. Okay, so 30 seconds from now. The hero system is, if we go to adjust appearance, if we go into upgrades, it's now set up so that we've actually got a better progression system back and through here with the types, whether they're mortals or eldritch or wizards, whatever they might be, dragons, got their own through there. The class you choose for them at the start has its own as well, so you have to then use that one, and the signature skills. That's one of them. The next thing is adjust appearance. Is now makes a lot more sense. If we go to the heads, go through, we now actually can see physically what we're going to be doing. The eye color, we can now go and change the eye color physically. Hairstyles, we actually have little graphics. That's about my 30 seconds up, I think. I think that's it. That's it, guys. Exit game. Done. So, I think we went over 30 seconds there, but anyway, I was only allowed to do teaser stuff. But that's base game stuff that we just had a look at there with what was coming. And also, if you did see that was the Ogrekin, which is one of the new the new chassis which is coming into the game. I call them chassis, but they're basically the different races that are in there. So we've got ogres coming for the new stuff as well. Anyway, I'm not allowed to show any more than 30 seconds, so I thought I'd just quickly show those two aspects. But that's base game stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to be able to do a deep dive. So we're going very, very slowly through all those different things, but it is pretty cool. So Ice Raven is saying, Daz, blink once if the DLC is no good and blink twice if it is good. It's actually, I will talk about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Sea Power, says Radigo. I wonder if I can find it. I did actually, that's why I was a bit late starting. Let's see if I can actually get it. Pretty sure it's not in my downloads. It won't have downloaded. It just had a bit of an update. That's just workshop content that was updated. If I go back to library, there it is. New to library. There it is. So I've got it there. I'll just install it. Oh, hang on. Space required. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. Won't be able to do it in time. So that will be I'll be able to show that one next week. So I'll install that today during the day. There we go. Tortuga is already playing it. So Tortuga's right into these sort of naval games. So he's certainly knows his stuff when he comes to playing these. So anyway, he's already got it. But we'll be able to have a look at this one next week. I'll just go back to my library of different things. So it's good to see that that's there. What I'll do is I might just start the installation, but then just freeze it straight away. Just do the install and pause. Right, so I'll just try to remember to download that at the time. Okay, so we've got that one through there. Go back to the libraries. Maybe we'll just start to go through some of the other news and stuff. We've got Warhammer Vermintide 2. There's a lot of stuff in, of course, with Halloween. It's not sort of funny. It's not that big here in Australia. Terminus Zombie Survivors. So that's got a new update. That's a pretty cool looking game actually. I've got to do a video on that one. It's that's not a bad game at all. Your Vermintide's going to take over because of the Geheimenschnacht, or whatever it's called, which is, I think, the sort of the equivalent. Dev Diary, the Art of the Ways of War. Maybe we can have a look at this sort of stuff. Oh, it's just going through the artwork. Yeah, it's funny. Look, I will talk about this because we can now sort of see it. I'm like, I guess my roots is in terms of the fantasy tropes and stuff like that is certainly very much Western European, and so I sort of like the Lord of the Rings sort of style fantasy type stuff. I've been exposed a little bit to more of more Eastern European as well, which I really like through developers like Muha Games and stuff like that, and the Witcher series, like the Witcher books and things like that. Certainly, sort of embrace more that Central and Eastern European fantasy, which I think is pretty cool as well. And then as you sort of go even further to the east, you then end up with the more the Oriental sort of style. And I've never really got into it in a big way. I do like, for example, the not so much the game romance of the Seven Kingdoms, but of Three Kingdoms, sorry. But I do like I enjoy the stories and stuff of that. So it's something where I haven't really been exposed much to this sort of style of graphic, and so the map itself now is changing to become much more like with these pink colours, with the very much like the cherry blossoms sort of feel to it, and also the actual world itself, like it can look now much more towards the East Asia, which I think is a good thing to a large degree, but it's not something I'm used to in fantasy. So it's sort of so I've got not a mental block, but I've got to broaden my own perspective to actually be happy with playing in that sort of environment, if that makes sense, because it's something that I'm used to. I'm not used to it, but I expect to be playing it with an Asian style of army as well, and they do actually now have that in the game as well. My fear with this with the Ways of War, with it now broadening out so broadly into having quite different cultures now sort of playing into the actual game itself, is not so much that they're doing that, but the fact that it's now going to become more complex for players to pick up. So there's even more things that people have to sort of learn, and I just wonder where the cutoff point is, where it becomes too much. For me, I'm happy that it's there, and I know that there's been a lot of comments from you guys saying that that you actually are really looking forward to, like the simians, for example, like the monkey creatures coming in, and also embracing that sort of like that East Asian sort of approach to warfare. It's certainly interesting, and so I'm looking forward to playing it. And it is a great DLC. Like the amount of stuff that's actually in it is really cool again. So it's really worth what they've done. It's interesting how they've been able to broaden it back out that way. It'd be interesting to see if the dragons change as well, and we end up with more sort of like Oriental style dragons. I think I saw something in one of the dev diaries showing that changes to the dragons like that. Chris is saying Sir Thea. Yeah, Thea is more Slavic mythology. It's still Slavic mythology, as though still is more like that Central / Eastern European style. They've got like different sorts of creatures, like the they don't have your traditional banshees and stuff like that, which are more the the Celtic sort of style. Ice Raven saying I too haven't been exposed to too much Eastern fantasy or mythology. However, I love the Monkey King. Yeah, mythological characters. So now we're sort of going to be able to play more of those sort of styles, I guess. ZXM, I like the first tier more than the second one. Yeah, I like playing them at the start. And then I didn't like the game mechanics. Sort of got to me a little bit with Thea. I didn't really enjoy it like deeply. I always preferred Age of Wonders above the other games. This is saying people can always start off with less DLCs active, or just disable some parts of the setup. That's sort of how the story maps work anyway. Yeah, exactly right. I heard about the second, said Chris. I think you're talking about the Thea 2. Anyway, I hope Muha is sort of developing more of their games. I like being exposed to like that unusual mythology that I wasn't used to from the I guess from what I sort of grew up reading. But Romance of the Three Kingdoms is something that I I've meant to actually look into that much more deeply again, because that's a pretty amazing story as well. And I think that now that they're sort of embracing it through in here as well, like just not the actual Romance of the Three Kingdoms, but just that whole sort of style of having the more Eastern sort of style, including the different ways with the Oathsworn. The Oathsworn is now the new culture that's coming in. So the Oathsworn culture is inspired by East Asian mythology, fantasies, and theatre. Since Age of Wonders 4 is a fantasy 4X, historical accuracy is not the priority. It's important for us to be respectful of the real-life cultures and history that inspired us, while focusing on creating a fantasy that will fit into the existing Age of Wonders 4 universe. I like what they do this. We started the Oathsworn culture exploitation with sketches close to their real-life inspirations. At this stage, we placed most importance on creating a diverse lineup that is easily distinguishable in tactical combat. In order to do so, they've actually got like they've changed the classes around a little bit, and this I think is as well is going to be for new players. I do worry that it's going to be overwhelming having so many different things now being added into the game. But having said that, it also makes it more immersive in other ways. So I don't know. It's really interesting actually doing a full playthrough, just getting just to see what people think. Actually, I'm always interested in actually because I play so much of these games. I know I get used to them, but like it's like Distant Worlds, like the question about how do you manage fleets. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, it's easy. You just put the circles where you want them, and they just look after them. But it's so much more involved. And this is a bit like that as well with this sort of game. Like it's sort of I play so much of it that I understand a lot of the game fairly intuitively, and you've got to get out of that mindset and think, okay, look, how does this look to someone who's never played the game? Is it overwhelming? Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Those sorts of things. They always go through my head when I'm trying to present a game, because games should be very immersive. They should be escapist, but they shouldn't necessarily be overly complex, and the game shouldn't get in its own way. But I know that Paradox do such a great game and a great job of actually looking at that, and so same with the devs of Age of Wonders 4. So with the Triumph Studios, they also have always the games have always been exceptional. Oathsworn introduced 8 new units for which the workload would be immense if they had an entirely new models. Blah blah blah. So we've got it's just talking about the building up the actual models themselves, but certainly a much more Eastern appearance coming into the actual game. Here we go. So they're just getting the modelling correct. So some of the forces that now come through don't have shields. So they've got like a different sort of style of play. Yeah, so just coming back in, Oathsworn cities back in through here. The Oathsworn are interesting as well. You've got like 3 different classes of styles of play, from extremely aggressive with strife through to harmony and righteousness. So you've essentially got 2 fairly friendly approaches, I guess, back and through here, with one that's extremely unfriendly. So we can have a lot of fun with it, really, with what does go on. Ton of work to be done in sieges, blah blah blah, back and through there. It's beautiful art, isn't it? It really does look good. I mean, it's such a beautiful game. They're the 3 different cultures again. So this is just the concept art. Yeah, we can do without these piglets. It's nice. This is just showing the art. Got some new tomes as well. 40 new tomes, technically 7. Comes with Waves of War, but I wanted to cast an additional spotlight on the 3 technically also tome books, the culture tomes. So you're going into, again, strife, righteousness, and harmony, which is great. Again, these are the Ogrekin, which we just had a quick look at. The Simians, which I know a lot of you are looking forward to playing as. This is a good overview of the whole thing, actually. So these have come through, and again, these I think the Simians work incredibly well with the new culture. The Ogrekin, not so much. It's sort of funny. It's the Ogrekin I can see actually working much better. Just going back and playing with with some of the other old style of cultures in the game. It's sort of and I have been testing playing as the ogres using the Strife Oathborn, and it's good, but it's sort of, I feel that the ogres, I think I'd prefer to be playing with either human or elf or something like that in that sort of sense. It just for me would make a bit more sense, and use the ogres back for more of the basic style cultures, which is interesting. Wildlife has changed a little bit as well. You end up with a bit more. So there is actually a new map style as well, where you can actually play where you are playing almost completely agent influence with the actual map generation, which is interesting. So you end up with these Cursed Ogre. This certainly has got like a more Eastern appearance with the way it sort of is presented. It's cool, isn't it, with what they've done here? It's interesting. I haven't seen this creature yet. Miscellaneous. Yeah, this is sort of like what the worlds look like. This is a combat map. Yeah, no, it's good. Different sorts of sort of brush style graphics as well. The free patch as well. So that, yeah, a lot of stuff. This is actually what I did show. Just the way now of seeing what you're going to get before you pick it. So they've just done a lot of extra work just to make it more approachable for the game itself. Different looks. Okay, this is something I haven't seen actually. So what we've got: enemy banners, army banners. So add a visual distinction in the form of spikes to the unit banners, which previously could only be distinguished by colour. Oh, okay, so enemies are going to have spikes around them. Positive warning. So new is this style with a little up chevron and a down chevron for negative. That's okay. Again, it doesn't matter much, but why not? Added visual distinction. That's the hazards. Tweak colours in the battle prediction bar for better visual contrast. You know, the one colour I wish that they would change, and they haven't done it, is the healing colour. Like I find the green and the yellow way too close. That's one thing I've asked for that for a year now. I've stopped asking. So angelic transformation, major transformation with visual effects and disabled as well. I would possibly end up with those effects disabled, to be honest. I find them overwhelming. I don't mind. That one looks okay, but some of them just look a bit too weird. And I don't know. It's the minor ones, I think, that actually do my head in a bit. So, and I don't know if you can change the minor ones. So you either get the expansion pass, or you can just go and grab the actual DLC when it becomes available. But anyway, that's it's going to be cool actually. The Ways of War first look, different streaming times in through there as well. So, but I'll be playing that as of tomorrow. So really looking forward to getting into Age of Wonders 4 again. I love the game. It's it's a great game, and this will be, again, there's a lot of content coming with this DLC, but also a lot of base content in the game itself. Now, guys, I guess we better just quickly go through the rest of the information that we have. Sins of a Solar Empire. So there will be updates coming soon, I believe, for Sins. So I'll be doing more content when that comes. Civ 4 with its DLC comes in December, so I'll be doing more of that then. Marbles on Stream, so season 56 is here, so Trick or Treat. Actually, I didn't show that. I'll do that when we start off everything with the giveaway. Shadows of the Endless. What's that one? Is that a book? Novel. That's a book. Now, Field of Glory. I did show that one last week. Patch 1.04. Rimworld's birthday community event. Showing the Tracturi out. Vera Sievert we covered last week or the week before. December 12th, they've got the Mega Structures expansion. Looking forward to that one. This is, I would suggest, if you're into history, have a look at these lens-on videos. They're very, very short, but they're really quite informational, like with Field of Glory. I really quite enjoy watching those. We've just had a look at that one through there. Again, we've got Sins of a Solar Empire. These are just dev logs essentially, and through here. Then we've got the hero rework back and through there, just going through how they are then portrayed. So with the we'll go back in now and start our marble run, and just if there's any other questions. I'll just go through that. I don't think there's anything there that anyone's asking any more questions about games, etc. So I'll just go in and go to Nightbot and log in. So this is for Keeper RL, and I do have a video which I'm going to be putting up either later today or tomorrow. So I've sort of recorded for a couple of hours actually, and just to try to show what the new content sort of is, and I didn't even really scratch into it much with what's going in there. We're just going to go into giveaways. We're going to give keyword. I will actually just do the word keeper. So if you can type the word keeper in the chat, you will then be in the running. In the meantime, while you guys are typing in keeper, I will go out and open up Marbles on stream, and I will then show you who the leaderboard is over the course of many weeks. I was going into, as I say, I was going into it's in an area called the hub, and so if I go to local. ChatTactic is the scoring system that we're using. If I go and go to custom points, for example, this is actually our point system that we have with 10 points going to 10th place, for example. So we've got all that stuff there. If you go and view, this is the leaderboard for the whole of the history from, I don't know for how long it actually is, but we actually have Bubo on 103 local points. We've got Reed coming in second at 97, so there's, what's that, about 6 points difference. What surprised me with this, only 2 wins for each of these guys, and they're sort of miles ahead of the others. Bubicus coming through at nearly 80 points, so a long way behind the other two. Giza's Zone at 69, so 10 points difference in through there. Then we start to get the big collections of people. There's just around 55. You can see how many times that they've actually been eliminated as well, which is interesting. So we can actually have a look to see who's been just killed the most in the game, and the total races as well is quite interesting. And I was having a look to see who actually has got like a lot of races under their belt, but aren't performing all that well. And it's because you expect like a lot of people only have like a small number. Battle mode, 3 races, 0 points. He's not in today, is he? He's not in. Anyway, it's I have to show that. Have to show that again. Make fun of it. All right, so we go back in. We see a few people with only with lowish points. So like these are the actual total points. But I think that there's, if you've got sort of like 9 or 10, so we've got Michael. It's funny because I always think that Michael does well in these runs, but there he is, sort of about halfway down the list. But after 10 games, 4 eliminations, 10 games there with 30 points for Gratian. Funny because I guess because I see the names so often, I just think, they're doing pretty well. But we've got a few people with. Chris has only got the like 1 win, 1 elimination type thing, so doing pretty well, but with only 3 races themselves. If we go to wins, 2 is, isn't that funny? 2 wins is the most we've actually had, really, and only 2 people have actually done it, which is Bubo and Reed. Go to eliminations. There's CB, so 13 races, but a very mediocre score, only 1 win. And that's just one. That's an actual race win as well. That's not even a. That's not a session win. Like that's not one of our local Grand Prix wins. So it's it is interesting to sort of see that one. So anyway, total races back in through there as well. So 18 again. Bubo's got the most with the races. Giza Zone. Yeah, look at that. So Giza Zone is 16 races, but with a heap of eliminations, no wins. And so, getting up there, 69 is, but it's still a long way off the 103 from Bubo. I just find that, like, I was going to delete this, and because it sort of gets in my way when I'm trying to do the actual race itself, but I thought this is actually quite interesting. So it's sort of fun with the way it does actually sort of work. Anyway, that's enough time, I guess. I'll go about now. Hi Drexy, how you going? I guess name added comes up different, so not sure what that you mean by that one. Sorry. This is yeah. I've only done 4. I've only done it when I've had. I'm not even sure where I am. Yeah, I've got 29 points. I got a win. Actually, that's not fair. I shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, the local points. That's the current big leaderboard there. So you can sort of see, if you sort of look down, you'll probably see your name somewhere in there amongst the list there to sort of see how you're going. If you've done 10 races, 5 eliminations, and you've been eliminated 5 times and 0 wins, like Garatian, you're probably feeling a little bit hard done by. Might be your chance to win today. Who knows? I don't know if Garatian's in today. Anyway, let's go, and I thought I'd just show that. I'm going to keep it. I was going to clear it, but I'm thinking I'm just going to keep it because, it's interesting. So anyway, we'll just get rid of that one. We'll go back out. Is it competitions? No, sorry, that's different again. Oh, here we go. Play. Right, so I just got to get a few things set up before I get started here. Need to bring in the Sublime text. Delete all of that. Go back across and grab the list. So good luck, guys. I mean, even if you don't want the game, you should still be in the marble run. It all counts now. So Tenru, even though you didn't say keeper, you are in. Control C. Go back to this one again. Control V. Only 22 runners, so not very many. We're just going to go to find, replace all. Fox just saying, can I join, or am I too late? You can definitely join. So Voxy, you're in, so it's 23. Do we have anyone else that's late? Ladrin, you're in, that's okay. ZXM is saying down to the above. Sorry guys, I need better stats, so I'm going to give it all you're all today. Yes, you do need to do better. You all need to do better. Anyway, we've got. I thought it was interesting to see that anyway, just with actually where we were. So I'll okay, 23 runners. That's fine. We'll just save that. Go back in again. We don't need that. Just need to go back into here. Got to set up the actual list in through here. Clear it out. Open. Marble names. I'm getting good at this now. Finish. Go back out. Go to Grand Prix. Go for. Should we do 4 maps today? Because I'm not in any screaming rush. So we'll do 4 maps. 23 races using bots. Okay, good luck. Good luck. Dominic Kane saying it's a game of pure skill, and yet we all seem to get it all seem to stuck. There we are. At least it's sort of it does sort of spread it out a little bit. Anyway, we're going to now. What kind of? Oh, we need to bring the maps in, of course. All right. Wow, only 2 people have played this one. Arena Marble Expedition. Interesting. All right, let's go for it. Play. It's loading in. I think it's got the Halloween themes. Here we go. Game setup. Where are they all? Oh, way up over there. Okay. So let's have a bit of a look around. So, any dangers for this one? Let's have a bit of a look and see what we can see through here. So we're going to go down through this other side. Yeah, Drexy, when you speak to Battle Mode next, just let him know he's actually coming last on that leaderboard. don't know if you were in it for that one, but yes, he's not performing all that well. All right, so anyway, go through. So we've got Dom UK out in front, back and through here, through the large intestine. We're going to go into the side through there. So the actual looks like Voxter and Sithel. No, Dom UK has come all the way through to the front. This is going to sort some people out. There will be people flying off at this location from both sides. Original intent trying to get out from the other side. Here comes Diamond. Is Diamond going to make it through? This is going to be dangerous through here. Kashnard, Drexy. In the meantime, Dom UK has hit the lead over the other side. The more you guys stay in that zone there, the more dangerous it's going to be for you. Dom UK and Joshua is making their way towards the win. Yeah, no one's actually been kicked out there. I better go back to the leaderboard, leaders up and through here, just see what's actually happening. I thought some would actually end up being destroyed back there, but everyone's actually made it through. Actually, there goes John, is gone, or Joe, sorry. Joe Perez is out. Probably got kicked off back there somewhere. There goes Maladroid. I'm not sure what's happening there. Is there something that's forced? Oh, here we go. We've got the Dom UK coming in for the win. So Dom UK, first one in. Congratulations. That's their first win in through that side. Barbara coming in second. Tenru third. Geezer's Own coming in fourth. ZXM fifth. Drexy sixth. Voxter coming in seventh. You want 10th in through here. At the moment, it's Joshua Cramp is going to get the 10 points. Or is he? No, it looks like Thor is going to get that. So Thor is the next one through. So 10 big points there for Thor Nellerman. And then we've got Castanar. Then the rest of the guys are just going to be picking up like 1 or 2 points in through here. But it looks like most people actually finished that one. So he's swimming around. Yeah, so there's Joshua, last one now. I think the game is going to get to Joshua before he can get out. Yes, it is. Okay, so we'll just do our final results. So again, this is looking at the overall leaderboards. This is added to the existing point system. Actually, a lot didn't finish there, which is interesting. If we go to the Grand Prix, this is what we're looking at for today. So Dom UK out in front with Barbara coming in second. Tenru on 12 points. Thor and Geezer's Own both on 10. 8 points for Began. Drexy on 7. Voxter on 6. And down through the actual numbers through there. So there's a few there with just 1 point. Next map. Okay, so we're now going to the Marble Adventure. So we've got 4 maps today, not 3. So Diamond said, I went for a smoke. I think we should just stop at 1 map, says Dom UK, for no particular reason, yes. All right, let's go. So Joe is out in front. Oh, there goes Joshua, the one who didn't quite make it last time. Let's just go and pick number 2nd. We'll just follow in with the actual marbles. So Joshua out in front, Joe coming in 2nd, Chris coming in 3rd, Sticky Wicket 4th. Just move these through, going through the loop. Whoa! Oh, Joe didn't make it. Okay, we'll go and pick up another one. So we've got a big group. Oh, and I better not do that anymore, because every time I go and click on one of you guys, you end up falling off. A lot of you are falling off this one. Geezer's Own, you are out. Drexy's still in. We'll just go back and choose one of these at the back through here. Don't go down there, guys. We've got Maladroit. Will Maladroit survive me like watching his actual run? And he has. He's made it through that bit of it. Drexy's out in the lead. So we've got Drexy, Sticky Wicket. Joshua is where? Joshua is back there. Sticky Wicket now looks to have taken the lead. Further up ahead. Let's go up to here. It says Sithel's in the front, but I think it's still Sticky Wicket. I don't think Sithel. Yeah, Sithel's is caught back in here. So Sticky Wicket coming in for the win. Oh, there we go. Just we'll just see if we get the win. I think you're going to be okay. Yes, just and Will you make it through? Sticky Wicket's coming through. Here comes Diamond. So Sticky Wicket still in the lead. Diamond got caught back there. Biohazard coming back through. This should be for the win. Oh, Joshua didn't make it. Diamond. Oh, Sticky Wicket didn't make it. Oh, you did. Sorry, you did. You did make it. You were the winner of that particular one. Diamond coming in second. Biohazard. We actually lost Tail Sly Fox. Hugo's fourth. No one's going to get 10th position now. Drexy's out. So, sorry, Drexy. Maladroit finishes at 6th. Chris coming in 7th. And we've got one more. Sithel's caught way at the back up through here. Not moving at all. But the game will actually end before he gets there. There we go. So that's the that was the final result there. Again, if we just go straight through to our Grand Prix finishing. So we have Sticky Wicket is now 21 points. Dom UK is on 20. Barbara 15. Diamond on 15. 13 for Biohazard. 12 for Tenru. We've got there 11 for Castanar. 11 for Hugh David. 10 for Geezer's Own. Thor Nellerman is also 10. We've got Began on 8. Drexy 7. Yeah, so we've got the others down through that side. So we're halfway through. Next map. So awesome airflow. This sounds dangerous. I should have had a look to see the elimination percentages, and so we can sort of see which maps are going to be fun to look at. I do apologise for me taking over certain marbles. I don't control them at all. I just follow them, and everyone I followed actually ended up getting killed almost, although except for the end there. So let's go and press number 3. Just see what happens here. This is actually a race. So we've got Began's marble here. Isn't that beautiful? I think we've played this one before, you know. It rings a bell. Oh, you're losing. Yeah, we've got 3 laps of this. I'll just move out the side so we can sort of see what's going on a little bit here. Sticky Wicket, I'll just go back up in here again. So Chris coming in second. Sticky Wicket out in front again. We've got a few of the others in here now. Is it Geezer's Own? No, it's here's Drexy just passed. There we go. Third lap now. So Chris is coming in second. Looks like maybe Hugh David in front. Is it? Yeah, they're actually passing. They're actually passing people that are still in the second lap. So Chris is doing very well here. And that's the win. Chris, congratulations. So when I do take over some marbles, they perform fairly well. I'll just go and grab some of the others here. Hugh David now coming in. It's funny, I thought Hugh was doing pretty well there. These are all now coming back in. So we're getting a lot of finishes in through this other side now. So we've got, who are we still waiting on? Still a few more coming back in. Everyone's going to finish, I think. Still got a few way at the back there. There's Diamond, Joshua, Tenru. Here comes Drexy. So Drexy's just finished, but not in the top 10 places. Voxter gets 10 points, which is always useful. If you finish 10th, this is the start-finish line there. So Joe finishes. Tenru's stuck in the air pipe. Is Tenru? No, Dom UK is the last one. Here he comes. Here he comes. Others have all disappeared by now. Here comes Dom UK. To finish the race. Come on, come on. We're waiting. We're all waiting. You can't just sit there. I know that you want to win, but at least you got 1 point. All right. That was pretty cool. We'll just see... in that case, Chris got the first place. We'll have a quick look at the Grand Prix standings. Sticky Wicket has now taken the lead. Dom UK did get the 1 point there to at least get. It's still there's still one race to go, and it's going to be hard for Dom UK. The others are sort of close-ish there around it as well. Barbara's also on 21. We've got 26 with Chris, and we have 33 with Sticky Wicket. So Sticky Wicket a fair way out in front. If Sticky Wicket finishes in the top maybe 6 or 10th, I think he's got it 1. But anyway, let's see what actually happens here. He's a fair way out in front, but Chris could catch up here. So good luck, guys. Next map. So we're looking at Chris. We're looking at Sticky Wicket, Chris, Barbara, and Dom UK. The others are going to be probably a little bit far behind. Maybe Hugh and Kastner may be able to get there. Next map. This is work in progress. Oh, that doesn't sound very healthy, does it? This sounds like there could be a lot of carnage. All right, so it's 3 laps. Actually, it is just a race. So let's just go and do this. We'll just go and grab one of them and see what happens here. So I don't think we'll lose anyone. Barbara's out in front. Tails coming through. It's a bit hard to tell from the actual leaderboard on the side there, but Barbara is in the front there, except no longer. Or is she? Chris, I think. Chris is doing very, very well. Where's Sticky Wicket? There's Sticky Wicket. We're actually not controlling. We're controlling Diamond. We're following Diamond. Oh, nearly fell out with Geezer Zone. So Diamond's coming through now. Actually performing very, very well. And we've got Ladran out in front there with Chris. Chris is in a good position here. Dom UK also going to be picking up some points. This is the second loop through. Yeah, Ladran out in front. Diamond's now hit the lead, believe it or not. See, it is lucky having... Oh, no, sorry, I was just going to say it's lucky having me look at the actual marble, but it's actually not. As you can see, it's actually not very lucky. So Ladran way out in front there. I'll just go up to one of the other marbles at the front through this other side. We've got Barbara's marble now. Geezer Zone still up in the mix there. Dom UK making a big run here. Where's Chris gone? Chris should be back there. Chris is a little way back now. But Dom UK's hit the side. We don't want to see that. So Dom UK needs the points to get the win. Here he comes. Barbara's still out in front. This is the 3rd lap now. Ladran out in front. Kastner out in front as well. I don't know if Ladran can actually pick if he picks up the points, if they'll get the win. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where Ladran was in the actual Grand Prix scheme of things. Here comes Drexy. Drexy's actually making a late run, doing very, very well. Kastner's now hit the lead. Now Kastner was up there, I think. That could be interesting as well. Oh, there goes Dom UK. Now this would be interesting if Dom UK gets the points. Let's just go back because this is now the last little bit. There's Ladran. We've got Drexy, Dom UK, Ladran, Kastner. The points are going to get tight here. Ladran's hit the lead again and gets the win. Bang, gets the win. So we've got Ladran, Kastner, Dom UK 3rd, Drexy 4th, Hugh David 5th, Barbara 6th, Maladroit 7th, Geezer Zone 8. 9th is Tail Sly Fox, and I didn't see who got the 10 points. All right, so that's the final result for this one. Let's have a quick look and see. Well, so that was actually a 35 points is actually not too bad overall. This is that's for every game I've ever played. So we won't worry too much about this one through here. We'll go to, I think we'll just finish the Grand Prix and just see who wins. Because I don't know who actually got there. We'll finish the Grand Prix. It's going to get pretty tight here. I think this is going to be Dom UK certainly did well, getting 3rd place in that last one. So, but is it going to be enough to get the victory? We don't know. So we'll finish the Grand Prix here. So Kastner saying I can only finish 3rd, I think. Okay, so who is 3rd place? The 3rd place is Dom UK. I actually thought you're going to win that, like getting that high up. A couple more points. I reckon this is going to be really tight. We'll have a look at the points when we finish this one. 2nd place is Sticky Wicket. So somebody new has come in and grabbed the actual lead here, which is surprising. I thought it was going to be between, like when Dom UK was doing so well there, I thought, there's got to be between those. It's Ladran actually got the actual full points. I didn't see you in the leaderboard at the end there. This is going to be really tight, I think. Let's have a look and see what happens here. Wow, look at that. 35 points for Ladran. So congratulations, Ladran. That's a great finish. God, I wish I could see all of... We can go back and have a look at the numbers, I think. Got 15 plus 20. There we go. wow, what a finish. And Sticky Wicket only got 1 point. So Sticky Wicket finishing back there gets relegated. So that was a really close finish. And then Castanar just 1 point on equal points with Castanar and Dom UK on 33. And then we have everyone else after that, sort of, trailing off with the points. So, yeah, very, very cool finish. So, Ladron, what I'm going to do is, if you can email me at daz@daztactic.com, I'll just type this in. So, daz@daztactic.com. That I'll then be able to email you the key for Keeper RL. So, congratulations, that's fantastic. So, what a comeback! I think if we go back, I don't know if we can see the actual results of that. It would be interesting to see the history of it. I don't know if we can. No, it's. I can go back to the hub. Will it show us local view? No, it's only the full. It's not showing us the previous run. But that was that was amazing finish. I really didn't think anyone was going to be able to compete for the top position like that. So my commiserations, Sticky Wicket. You had it in the bag. You're so far out in front. So you must feel bad about that one. But anyway, that's the way it rolls. So these are the new numbers now in through here as well. So anyway, there's Sticky Wicket there. So, but anyway, that's so Ladron, congratulations. Yeah, it was very, very close. I don't think I've seen it that close for a long period of time. There's usually been a few outliers that sort of end up running away with it, but that was very, very good. Anyway, congratulations, and if you can email me, that would be fantastic. I'll send you out the key. It's a great game, Keeper RL. I will be, as I say, putting up a video on the new content that's coming out for that one. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next week. Otherwise, I'll actually be probably doing Age of Wonders tomorrow here on YouTube, I think. I've got to think of the best way of actually presenting the information. So... Dominic is saying, I'm so glad Daz never put the camera on me, or I'd not be in third. Yeah. Yeah, certainly those first ones where people were dropping off the bottom. Every time I went to a new marble, they'd just fall straight off and get killed. Anyway, have a great week, guys, and I'll probably see you tomorrow if you're around. I should be playing some Age of Wonders. I'll then probably play a bit more on Twitch for the rest of the week.